Okay, great. Thank you, Laura, for that lovely introduction. Today is my take two on this stage. You may not recognize it. It's called the Historic Pike. What if I told you that there was an attraction steeped in history right here in Long Beach? I think you would probably say, I know, it's the Queen Mary. Although the Queen Mary certainly deserves recognition for her historic past. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Long Beach Pike. From the late 1800s to the mid 1950s, the Long Beach Pike grew to be the resort destination of the Los Angeles area. At first, visitors to the Pike would come in their horses and buggies, and eventually the Pacific Red Car opened, and then they would take the train. There would be thousands and thousands of visitors to the Pike on a weekend day. Piers were built to house rides and attractions, amusements they called them. This was all before theme parks like Disneyland. The only place that ride designers had to build their rides were at amusement zones such as the Pike. And we here in Long Beach were privileged to have had the attention of many well-known amusement ride designers. Charles I.D. Luce created wooden horses for carousels. There was a ride called the Cyclone Racer, one of a kind, two cars starting off at the same time, going up the same steep hill, and then launching down to go past 17 hills and to see which one would get back first. And it would differ depending upon who was in it. I don't know, the wind any one day. And it was all done on a pier over the water where you could see the splashing waves and feel the spray on your face. Very exciting ride, as I understand it. It's no longer there. We have some tributes to it and other things here on the Pike right now. But it makes for a great memory, and it was, again, a one-of-a-kind activity. There are even stories about people trying to jump from one car to the other during the ride and standing up at inappropriate times when the car was going under some low-hanging beams. There were some interesting stories about that. I don't know if they're true. I suppose research might tell. There was the double Ferris wheel. Who thinks about the fact that the Ferris wheel had to be invented? And then the double Ferris wheel? I wonder, was there a triple Ferris wheel? We had a double Ferris wheel here at the Pike. I'd never heard about them, but I've come to understand that they can still be found. There's a company that will bring its double Ferris wheel to you and set it up. Usually the U is a state fair. And I think that it was seen in Orange County not too long ago. A few years passed, but not that long. For various reasons, places, amusement zones like the Pike, lost their traffic over time. One of the big reasons was the fact that Disneyland opened in 1955. And all of the visitors who were going to the amusement zones headed over to Disneyland. So the amusement zones really did have a role in the creation of places like Disneyland, because Walt Disney himself is said to have noted in a book somewhere that he got his inspiration for Disneyland at places like the Pike. I found a Wikipedia entry that stated that in 1954, there were 218 amusements at the Pike. I want to know what these amusements were, and I want to share them with you and with others who might visit the Pike. I want to commemorate the Pike, not by changing it back to
Green.
what it was, but in other, perhaps more modern ways, and to leverage the learning opportunity that each amusement provides so that we can create learning experiences for others in audio, video, and written form. For this group, I would like to share a very special story of a club that was called the Spit and Argue Club. It started with two fellows who would on a weekend talk about all sorts of things, from rocking chairs on the veranda of the old Virginia Hotel. The hotel burned down, they moved to the beach. Then they moved to the first pier, the pier got washed away, then they moved to the second pier, and so on. And the club persisted over time until TV came along and it ran out of popularity. But the Spit and Argue Club
Yellow
was at a time when there were no debate clubs, no speaking clubs, no Toastmasters. What I'd like to propose to this group is this, that you help me with a project that prepares youth and adults to research, learn, and deliver podcasts and create videos, first about the Spit and Argue Club, and then about other Pike amusements. The youth will share their research with others who will be working on other media, comic books, and short stories. It will be the modernized version of the Spit and Argue Club. So that is my question for you today. Is there anyone in here in this audience who would like to help me to create this vision and bring it to life? And I think at the same time, it will help us to understand and grow our own club and create new purpose for us.
red.
Thank you. That's it. Okay. And